students, and welcome to today's educational program. My name is Douglas Kitungat, and I'm glad you could join me for this important and engaging lesson of today. Let me start by asking you a simple question. Have you ever wondered why there are rules in your school? For example, rules about attendance, discipline, uniforms, or how even you relate with others. These rules are there to create order, fairness, and a peaceful environment where everyone can learn and grow. Now imagine a country without any rules at all. No clear leadership, no system to guide decision making, and no protection for people's rights. It would be very difficult for such a country to function properly. This is where the constitution now comes in. A constitution is like the set of rules for a country. It guides how leaders are chosen, how decisions are made, and how citizens live together. It also ensures that everyone is treated fairly and that their rights are respected. As students and future citizens, it is very important for you to understand how your country is governed. The Constitution is not just for leaders or lawyers, it affects everyone, including you in your daily life. For example, your right to education, your freedom to express your ideas, and your ability to participate in national matters are all protected by the Constitution. In today's lesson, we are going to explore this topic in a simple and clear way. We will learn what a constitution is, why it is important, and how it is made, and even how citizens like you can take part in that important process. By the end of this program, you will have a better understanding of how the constitution shapes leadership, protects citizens, and helps build a peaceful and organized society. So, stay with us as we break down these topics step by step in a way that is easy to understand and relevant to your everyday life.
Sure. Hello students and welcome to today's program. We are going to learn about an important topic in governance. This topic determines the governance of a country or many countries, and this is the constitution.
A constitution is the supreme law of a country. This means it is the highest set of rules that everyone must follow, including citizens, leaders, and institutions of government. No law or decision should go against this powerful document called Constitution. The Constitution provides a framework for how a country is governed. It explains how the government is formed, how leaders are chosen, and how power is shared among different arms of government. This is the inclusion of the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Each of these three has specific roles it performs, and the Constitution ensures that no single arm among the three has much power over the other. A good example is the executive is responsible for implementing laws, the legislature makes the laws, and the judiciary interprets the laws and also executes the same laws. This separation of power helps to prevent misuse of authority and promotes accountability. The Constitution also protects the rights and freedoms of citizens. These are often referred to as fundamental rights, or we also call them human rights. They include the right to education, freedom of expression, freedom of movement, and the right to vote. These rights ensure that citizens of a particular country can live with dignity, and they also participate in national development. It is therefore very important to understand that rights also comes with responsibilities. As citizens enjoy their freedoms, they are also expected to respect the rights of others and obey the laws of the land. This creates a balanced and a peaceful society. Without a constitution, there will be no clear rules to guide a country. This could lead to confusion, misuse of power, and even conflict among citizens or leaders, because everybody will be carrying the law with their own hands. The Constitution acts as a guide that ensures order and stability in the society. Another important function of the Constitution is to promote fairness and justice. It ensures that all citizens are treated equally before the law, regardless of their background, status, beliefs, race, among others. This helps to build unity and trust within the country. For example, if a leader misuses power or violates the law, the Constitution provides always clear mechanisms to hold that particular or those leaders accountable. These may include, for example, legal action or removal from office through established procedures. And in Kenya, for example, we know that leaders who violate the Constitution are ousted out of office through impeachment, and we have quite a number of examples that we can relate to during our class today. The Constitution also reflects the values and aspirations of a nation. It shows what the people believe in, and this is like, for example, democracy, equality, and respect for human rights. This makes it not just a legal document or another document like any other that you could see, but a symbol of national identity. To add to that, the Constitution provides guidelines on how national resources should be managed and how decisions should be made for the benefit of all citizens without favoring one side and taking the other side as victims and making them less important when it comes to matters of a nation. Therefore, understanding the Constitution is very important because it helps citizens know their rights, understand how their country is governed, and actively participate in civic life. So, in summary, I would say the Constitution is very essential. It is very important when it comes to every organization, every setup, okay? But in this case, we've decided to study about the rules, the rules in a national level. And when you also understand in the national level, you now grow and go beyond to the globe level. So this is how the Constitution is important, because it provides the rules of governance from the top to the grassroots of a nation. How does government operate? How is governance? Okay, what are the rules that people need to adhere to? Okay, what are the wrongs in that particular nation, and what are the rights in that particular nation? How are the elections in that nation happen? Who are the people who are eligible to fight for different positions, election positions, and who are not? And those who are not are also people who've been barred by the same Constitution not to vie for those elections. Okay? How are the resources of that particular nation shared equally so that everybody in that nation benefits? That is how key the Constitution is. So it also provides the rules of governance. It also protects the citizens' rights. Okay, what citizens are entitled to, it is addressed, and the citizens get them. It also ensures fairness and justice in a nation, and more importantly, it also promotes order and stability in their society.
Class, let's now talk about constitution making process. It is usually several processes but let's talk about 4. The first step is public participation. And here, the public is taken through an engagement so that they can see what is coming and how it affects their daily lives and operations. After that, we go to a draft proposal and then followed by a debate. This is where the representatives, the officials who are taking the core responsibility in bringing that constitution, they go to a debate so that they get to hear on both sides of the reactions, the differences, so that by the time they are going to agree what kind of constitution is being implemented in a country or a state, and then everybody will be satisfied and not having so many differences. And then after that stage, the final one is the approval. This is where now the relevant bodies or relevant government bodies, they put signatures and approve the constitution that have been gone through those processes, and then it starts functioning in a particular nation or country. So those are the processes that a constitution goes through, because it doesn't just start as a constitution and we have it running the same way. It doesn't. So that is the stages that it goes through. So far, we've seen how important the constitution is. Once you understand it, it gives you a background information about your country. And in this case, I want us to get a brief history of how the current constitution of Kenya came about, and I want us to start from 2005. So in 2005, that was 3 years after the government of Kibaki came in, and we had the Kibaki government together with Raila Odinga, and the two giants then agreed that they were going to have a new constitution. But a few months into the government, the kind of constitution that was being drafted was different from the one that Raila had agreed to see it come through. So that way, it led to two camps coming up. There was the yes camp, whose symbol was the banana, and then the no camp, whose symbol was the orange. So the yes camp had figures like Mwai Kibaki as the main one, and then we had Raila Odinga in the no camp, and whose symbol was orange. And then the outcome was, of course, the orange side won the referendum, and this was a big shake to the Kibaki's government. And after the results of the referendum, which ODM won, we moved ahead and we saw two key developments in the history of Kenya politically, and more so, it connects to the constitution that was our topic today. So we had PNU, and then we had ODM. And then the PNU had Mwai Kibaki as their key figure, and then for the ODM side we had Uhuru Kenyatta, William Ruto, and Raila Odinga. So we went to the election, and the election was highly contested, okay? And there was a lot of disputes on who the winner was, and also the winner was announced. And we had even the post-election violence, and we saw the UN Secretary General came to mediate the two key figures, that was Raila Odinga and Mwai Kibaki, at least for the country to get stability back. Okay, so after all that, Kibaki became president, and we had Raila Odinga as the prime minister. So after that, the first referendum that was held in 2005, and there was some disagreement, and it was not able to pass through as required. Now in 2009, a new constitution was drafted that was more inclusive, that had, as we said earlier, public participation, the citizens being educated on what the new constitution gonna bring for them and how it's gonna benefit them. Okay, so 2009, all that process was done, and then in 2010, we were able now to have the constitution, which was the new constitution promulgated and passed into becoming a law, and that is where we are today. And the law that governs us today, it was not something that came just overnight. It was a lengthy process spanning into even several years for us to see and have what we have today. So that is just to show you that constitution is not something that can be taken for granted. No, it is really something that determines the political developments in our country, the laws that govern us, and even political movements. They arise based on the constitution and the constitution process that we have. So that was just a brief story to show you that constitution really have a greater impact politically in the country, and politically it extends to social issues and even economic issues. So that is it. I hope you can now relate and see how important our topic of today is.
Now that we have looked at how a constitution is made and a brief history of Kenya's current constitution, it is important to understand what this means for you as a student and as a citizen. The constitution is not just a document for leaders or government officials. It belongs to every citizen, and it affects our daily lives in so many ways. For example, the right to education allows you to be in school today, the freedom of expression allows you to share your ideas, and the right to equality ensures that everyone is treated fairly regardless of their background. This shows that the constitution is not something distant or complicated, but something that directly impacts your life every day. As young citizens, it is important to begin understanding these rights and responsibilities early. This knowledge helps you grow into responsible individuals who respect the law and contribute positively to society. It also encourages active participation in national matters such as voting, in future engaging in community discussions. Therefore, learning about the Constitution is not only important for academic purposes, but also for preparing you to be informed and be responsible citizens in the future. And that is how the Constitution is very key. You can do it today for the examinations, but still prepares you for being a responsible citizen.
For the process that I mentioned earlier, that is very important for citizens to participate in processes that leads to coming out of the constitutions that govern them. This shows how citizens' participation helps build up the constitutions of the laws that leads to the leadership, to the laws that govern the citizens of a particular country. So that is how key it is to understand the whole process and participate in it as well.
Now, class, I want us to take a moment to think about what we have learned so far. I want you to imagine you are part of a group of citizens asked to give views on a new constitution. What kind of rules would you suggest? Would you want leaders to have unlimited power, or should there be limits? Take a moment to think about that. In most cases, citizens prefer a system where power is controlled and leaders are accountable. This helps prevent misuse of authority and promotes fairness. Let us consider another simple scenario. Imagine a country where there is no constitution. Leaders make decisions without following any rules at all, and citizens have no clear rights. What do you think would happen in such a situation? there will likely be confusion, unfair treatment, and a misuse of power. Citizens would not feel protected and conflicts could arise. This shows why a constitution is important in maintaining order, fairness, and stability in any country. Now, think about your own life as a student. You have rules in school that guide your behavior. These rules ensure fairness and help create a good learning environment. In the same way, the Constitution provides rules that guide the entire country. This shows that rules are important at every level, from school to national governance. Therefore, from this discussion, or from what we've just gone through in these sessions that we are right now, you and I can see that the Constitution plays a key role in ensuring, number one, fairness, number two, protecting rights of citizens, and number three, guiding leadership in a particular country. These are very important purposes of a constitution. We go ahead and say it also shows that citizens have a role to play in shaping governance and promoting accountability. Therefore, as we move forward, keep in mind the importance of understanding and respecting the Constitution in your everyday life. Before we move on, let us briefly recap what we've learned. Our Constitution is the supreme law of a country, and it guides how leaders govern while protecting the rights of citizens. We have also seen that the process of constitution making involves public participation, drafting, debate, and approval, ensuring that the final document reflects the will of the people always. Now, take a moment to think about this. Why is it important for citizens to participate in constitution making? And how does the Constitution protect your rights as a student and as a citizen? These questions help us understand that the Constitution is not just another normal document that you are familiar with, but it is something that affects our daily lives. Each and every day, it impacts our daily lives. That is the power of the Constitution. Now, it's been several minutes of our class today, and you've been getting all that you require about the Constitution. Now, I want us to take a small commercial break, and we'll be right back shortly.
Are you a registered Kenyan voter residing in Tanzania, Uganda, South Sudan, Rwanda, Burundi, South Africa, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, United Kingdom, Germany, USA, or Canada? It's time to verify and confirm your registration details in the IEBC Register of Voters. Visit the Kenyan Embassy, I-Commission, or Consulate where you registered with the registration document you used, that is, a valid Kenyan passport or original Kenyan ID by 2nd June 2022. You can also check your details online at verify.iebc.or.ke. In case your details are incorrect, visit your registration center. Kuwa sure na details zako. IEBC. Your vote, your future.
Yes, class, that was what we had planned to study today. And after going through what we've already seen, I would like to know what we've been able to learn and understand. So I'll be asking you a few questions, and one is, what is the definition of a constitution? Okay? And how does a constitution come about? What are the key processes that are followed when a constitution is being drafted from the beginning to the approval to the final stage? Yes.
Let us now go a step further and test our understanding through application. Consider this question. Why is it important for a constitution to limit the powers of leaders? A constitution limits power to prevent misuse of authority and to ensure that leaders act within the law. This helps to protect citizens and promote accountability in governance. Now, think about this. How does public participation make a constitution stronger and more effective? Public participation allows citizens to give their views and contribute to decision making. This ensures that the constitution reflects the needs, values, and aspirations of the people. Let us look at another situation. Imagine a country where citizens are not aware of their constitution rights. What do you think might happen? In such a situation, people may be easily misled or treated unfairly because they do not know their rights. This shows why it is important to educate citizens about the Constitution. Now, as a student, think about your role. How can you promote respect for rules and fairness in your school or community? You can do this by following rules, respecting others, and being responsible in your action. These are the same values that support constitutionalism in a country. These questions help us move from just understanding the Constitution to applying it in real life situations. So that is it. The questions that we've gone through will cement your understanding on our topic of the day, that is the Constitution.
In our class today, we've learned about the Constitution and the process of creating a Constitution. Today's class is very important because the way you live in a particular country, let's say about Kenya, you have to know your rights, you have to know your and you have to know the laws that operates in our country. And us having a topic like the one for today, it really helps you understand the governorship in a particular country, in this case Kenya, so that you get to operate smoothly in your daily operations. So thank you so much for being part of our session today. I believe you've gotten value for your time, and also committing to be part of us this session that we have today. My name is teacher Zetech University. Pleasure having you today. We'll see you same time in our class coming up soon. So thank you and have a blessed